Hi, I'm Vinny, and this is Wednesday Wisdom. This is a weekly show where we take time out of our busy schedules to reach out to people who might be really depressed, really stressed out, or just stuck in a rut and need extra motivation. Now, before we go any further, I want to give you guys an opportunity to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to be notified so you never miss another episode of Wednesday Wisdom as well as other additional content. Now, my motivation for this week, my words of wisdom that I'll bestow upon you is simple. Always be yourself. This is hands down one of the most difficult and important lessons to learn in life. And the reason it is so difficult is because either A, you don't believe that yourself is enough, or B, other people tell you that yourself is not enough. Now, the best way for me to really get this point across is to tell you guys the story of how I came here to HVMA. About 10 months ago, my dad and I got into an argument, or discussion, as we call it in my family. I believe it's an argument, they call it a discussion. It's like, oh, we're not arguing, we're discussing. But anyway, and he felt it was time for me to get a real job because my comedy career wasn't going in the direction that I wanted it to go. And he felt it was time for me to give it up. And after that discussion, I had a real come to Jesus moment, as I like to call it, for the first time in my life. And at the time, I seriously considered giving up comedy. I actually considered, you know what, this ain't working for me. Maybe he's right. Maybe it's time to hang it up. And it's the first time in my entire life I ever even thought about that. Now, as far as the real job situation goes, I had applied for jobs in the past, but none of them would take me because, like most people at my age, I was dealing with the ultimate catch-22 of life. And that is, in order to get a job, you must have experience. But in order to have experience, you must get a job. It's like you can't get one without the other, and it's frustrating for most people. It's like it's this never-ending cycle of it being impossible to find a job. Some jobs are easy to get. Most aren't. Jobs like mine that I have right now, not easy to get. So I was stuck working a retail job because those are easy to get, while at the same time still chasing my dream of being a professional entertainer. And I was going through this for a long time, and it took me to dark places and constant arguments and constant questioning of what's going to happen with my life. And during that discussion, my dad said, you'll probably go upstairs to your room and ignore everything I just said. So I got so pissed off that the second I went upstairs into my podcast recording studio, I sent out 10 applications to 10 different places. And my plan was to save every rejection letter I thought I was going to get, because I was getting constant rejection letters, just to prove to my dad that I'm trying, but nobody wants me. Like, that was the ongoing argument we were having. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to send out these 10 applications. No doubt all 10 of them are going to reject me. And then I can go, see, I'm telling you, they don't want me. Well, one of those jobs I applied for was the social media manager position here at HVMA. And out of those 10 jobs that I applied to, HVMA was the only one that wrote back to me requesting an interview. Some of them sent me the rejection letters I knew I was going to get. The rest of them, I never heard from. So we scheduled an interview, and I drove to the office and met my boss for the first time. Now, I won't necessarily go into details, but let's just say it didn't go well. And the reason it didn't go well was because when I went in there, I was trying to be serious and not talk too much about things I'd done in my past. Because everyone told me that if people found out about these crazy, zany, goofy, comedic things that I had done, nobody would take me seriously as an applicant, and it would hurt my chances at getting a job. Nobody would take me seriously. They would just think, oh, Vinny's a comedian, he's just a goofball. And I was told this my whole life. So I went into this job trying to show my serious professional side, and it wasn't working out for me because that wasn't me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm professional. I can be professional. I can be serious. I am hardworking, but I'm not a guy who's serious 24/7, 365. I'm just not. I'm a funny guy. I'm a comedic guy. I'm a sarcastic guy. That's how I am. And I felt like I had to hide being myself to get a job here. And I got a feeling my boss was seeing through that. So many people, like I said, were trying to change me and pull me in different directions. And of course, I'm listening because up until this point, no one was even giving me a job interview. So I had to assume all these people were right. So I went in here with a different mindset. So as we get to the end of this interview, my boss tells me straight up, I'm bombing. I'm not doing well. In fact, today, if you were to ask him about that job interview, his exact words would be, worst job interview ever. It was the worst job interview I ever did. I can't believe he's this good at the job. It was the worst interview ever. He says this all the time. Like every time I complete a task or an assignment and I knock it out of the park, at one point he'll just go, worst job interview ever. It's hilarious. Like we laugh about it now. That's how crazy it is. But anyway, he had a feeling about me and he knew I was a comedian because I had it on my resume. And the comedian part was what got his attention because comedians were creative. We have creative minds. And I found out that's what he was looking for. He wanted someone with creativity, someone who can come up with ideas, somebody who can create content, someone who can think outside the box, as they say. And he saw that I had the potential to do that, or had the feeling at the time. So he gives me a 30-day trial run. He said, let's try this out for 30 days, and if things go well, you can stay, and if they don't, then I'll just pay you for the 30 days, we'll shake hands and go our separate ways. And basically how I did would determine if we would continue working together in the future. I said, okay, and I took the opportunity. Now, during that time, my boss did what most bosses do nowadays. He Googled me and checked my social media, because that's why people always tell you, be careful what you post on social media, because bosses are looking at that now. And he found every single thing I'd ever done that was on the internet. If it was me and it was on there, he found it. He saw all my stand-up comedy videos on YouTube. He saw me wearing a bra on Daytime Fighting League on Adult Swim. He found the trailer of my Eat a Car documentary. He finds all this stuff. And as I came into the office, like the next day after he Googled me, he says, what the hell is all this? And I started to go into more detail about everything I had done in my career up until that point, because he saw all this stuff. So I basically started telling him the shows that I've done, the segments I've been a part of, how I got into all of this. I told him my entire career, the wrestling commentary, all of it. And he says, why didn't you tell me any of this during the interview? And I said, because everyone told me that no company would take me seriously if I did. And he says, are you kidding? I need this type of talent and creativity. If you had told me this sooner, there wouldn't have been a trial run. You would have got the job immediately. And if I can be honest with you guys, I damn near cried when he said that. I almost burst into tears in the conference room when we were talking. Because for the first time in a professional office environment, someone made me feel like myself was enough. Not only that, he supports the other outside projects that I do. My comedy, my podcasting, my acting, everything that I do outside of here, the entertainment aspect of my life. So I ended up not having to quit those things, and I still do comedy today. So I had that come to Jesus moment of whether or not I should keep going. I decided to keep going because not only do I have a great job, I have a boss who supports that. He loves it when I tell him I got a gig coming up in this city or this town or whatever. He loves it. So it was just an amazing blessing. And I'm so happy because that's why I say it's important to be yourself. Because even if you're not good enough for a particular job or person, there is a job out there who will think you're enough. And when you find it, you'll be a lot happier because you'll be comfortable in that environment. Also, as a side note, I like to say my dad and I get along great in general. That was just one moment where we butted heads. He's a great dad. I love my dad. My dad and I do very, very well. I'm blessed to have a dad like him. So just want to make that very clear. That was just telling one story of when we argued. Where, in general, my dad and I have a great relationship. He's a fantastic father. So in closing, let me just say it one more time. Always be yourself. Unless you can be a mermaid, then always be a mermaid. Because believe it or not, mermaids are actually really cool, especially for guys. Seriously, you ever seen Aquaman?
Aquaman, king of the seven seas.
No, not that Aquaman. This Aquaman.
One true king.
And ladies, you already know how cool mermaids are, especially if you've seen The Little Mermaid.
Look at the sun in the sky and the sand in the sea behind me. Look at me, suddenly I am on land and I'm free. Don't mind me as I climb for the first time. Jump for the first time. Trying to stand, but this gravity's pulling me down.
No. God, no. Jesus, no. Hell to the no. And back again, just no. No. I meant this one.
I don't know when, I don't know how, but I know something's starting right now. Watch and you'll see. Someday I'll be part of your
Now that's better. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will wrap up Wednesday Wisdom for this week. I thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and ring that bell to be notified so you never miss another episode of Wednesday Wisdom, as well as other additional content. Check back soon for a new episode. And until then, stay social.